Isn't we supposed to be having a fiesta?
Watch this.
Spurs Film Room is brought to you by SpursTubeTv.com. You can head over to the website and you can watch a bunch of Spurs videos, listen to a bunch of Spurs podcasts, check out a bunch of really awesome Spurs creators in the digital content world. It's also the home of After the Buzzer, the San Antonio Spurs post-game show. It's going to be awesome. All the contributors to this website are going to be contributing to this post-game show this season. It should be a lot of fun. SpursTubeTv.com.
Liftoff. Hey, isn't we supposed to be having a fiesta?
Watch this.
Isn't we supposed to be having a fiesta?
Go Spurs, go. What's going on, Spurs Nation? Hollering at you from South Texas. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. I see in the chat room we have some people here from California, from Florida. What's going on, guys? The East Coast, what's going on, guys? Go Spurs, go. Wherever you're watching, internationally or domestically, we all chant the same thing, and that's Go Spurs, go. Shout out to Sean Kelly. Thank you, my man, for stopping by. And dinner ready at the same time. Awesome, man. I'm glad I was able to get on time. And so hopefully today there's no internet delay. There's no internet cutout where I'm off for like 2 minutes and then I come by. If you guys saw the picture on my post on YouTube, I had the guy over yesterday and the wire that was actually connected to like the post and to my house or whatever needed to be replaced. So yeah, so thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with me. Today we're going to continue off where we left off last week, and we're talking about the schedule. This is going to be a schedule breakdown episode. And last week we talked about the first 20 games, right? The first I'm going to do this is going to be like an episodic little mini series here where I'm going to be breaking down chunks of the schedule until we get to the end, and we're kind of going to build along the way, right? So in this episode, let me go back all the way. We're going to look through games. Sorry, I'm like giving away the whole show right now, but just throw this back. We're going to look at games 21 through 41, right? So if you remember last episode, we were talking about a lot of games in there that are going to be winnable for the San Antonio Spurs. And it's a big first 20 games, because we need to build something positive off those 20 games. We need to be playing well. The record might not reflect how well we're playing. But in the beginning, in the episode before this, those games are going to be crucial, because what we're about to look into here is nuts, right? So the games 21 through 41, and a big chunk of that comes in December. We got 15 games in the month of December. Where we left off in the previous episode was we were on the road against Portland, right? And I think I had us coming up with the W on that one, but we're going to continue on the road here on this episode, right? And we got 2 more games on the road. The first one is against the Golden State Warriors, who are, again, one of the bigger mysteries out there. They are drafting like crazy. Shout out to the Golden State Warriors for during this time of downturn where they're not in the championship contention. They're still adding supreme talent. It's nuts through the draft. It's just insane. Then we're going to go ahead and head out to Phoenix, right? We're going to be in LA, in California. We're going to come back to Phoenix, um, and play against the Western Conference champions, right? The defending Western Conference champions. Let's see how these games go. Let's see how Phoenix plays this year. I don't think it's a guarantee that they're a lock to be one of the better teams in the West. They still have to win games, so let's see how that goes. Then we're gonna come home, right? So then we got 5 home games, right? So we just came off a little road trip. We're building character. We're playing against some of these West Coast teams, right? Now we're home. And we got New York stopping in first off, right? So New York on December 7th. Then we're going to go ahead and play the Denver Nuggets on a back-to-back, right? So both at home. So we're going to play them on the 9th and we're going to play them on the 11th, right? So with the day's rest in between, we're going to get a double dose of Jokic and the crew over there from Denver, right? Then we got New Orleans coming into town. We're going to play against Zion Williamson, and they got Valanciunas now, who did us dirty in the play-in game, right? Oh my goodness, right? The Memphis game. He's with the Pelicans right now, and let's see what Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson got cooking on over there in New Orleans. Something spicy, I'm sure. Then we're gonna get LaMelo Ball coming into the AT&T Center on December 15th, right? I think Charlotte's probably one of the coolest, youngest up-and-coming teams. I love Terry Rozier. I think, he was really good when he was with Boston, and then he betted on himself, went to Charlotte, and has had, I think, it was 2 years now, 2 great seasons in a row. So, and then LaMelo Ball, the truth, honestly, I never really cared about all the hype, and, when he was doing whatever in high school and overseas, didn't really care. But I always liked his highlights because he's a pass first point guard, and that's my type of point guard, right? So they're going to come into town, and then we get to go on the road again for 4 more games, right? So if we kind of recap here a little bit, so far in the month of December, we have had we started off in this video, right, on a 2-game road trip. Then we came home for 5 games, right? So in this little homestand that we just kind of talked about, we get to play against a really good New York team at home, a team that we might meet up in the playoffs with, right? If we end up going to the playoffs in Denver twice, right? So that's a good little mini series for us to against Denver. Like we need to be showing a lot of growth in these 2 games, right? For sure. Then we got Zion Williamson, right? And New Orleans, it's another team out there that is going to be battling in the West Coast for positioning in the playoffs and all that stuff, right? So shout out to Diamond G. Appreciate the tip. Diamond G, appreciate you hanging out with us, man. So here we go. So let's keep it moving, right? So now that we came off this 5-game homestand in December, right? Let me go ahead and zoom us through it and back to where we left off here. We're gonna go ahead and head on the road. We're gonna go up to Utah, right, in Salt Lake, and play against the Utah Jazz. Little shout out to Rudy Gay there. And then we're gonna go ahead and head to California, right? So we go on this road trip on the 17th against Utah. 2 days later, we're at Sacramento, right, playing against Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox now for the second time, right? I think we play them once in those first 20 games, right? So this is going to be the second time that we match up with them at this point. And like the third for Denver, right? The second and third time for Denver, right? Then we're going to go ahead and play the Clippers and the Lakers in this California swing that we're on here, right? Shout out. We have a lot of California games in the month of December. So shout out to the Spurs fan, Diamond G, right? Diamond G from Cali. For sure. Spurs are going to spend a lot of time over there coming up soon, right? So then we got the Clippers and the Lakers on the 21st and the 23rd. Then we're going to come home for 3 games. We're going to get to see the first-round pick, Cade Cunningham. We're going to play Utah again now at home, right? So that's a good little gauge as well. If they're supposed to be one of the better teams in the Western Conference again this year, well, let's see how we play them on the road, and let's see how we play them at home. Because home court advantage, I'm not saying that that's in our realm of possibility. I don't want to rule it out, but we need to be good against Utah every single time we play them. Then Miami's going to stop by, right? little nice little East Coast dab right there for the Spurs. They're stopping by after Christmas. All right, so let me kind of go back a little bit and kind of give you some of these dates. On December 23rd, that's when we're playing against the Lakers, right? And then so we have a few days off for the Christmas break, the 24th, the 25th for Christmas. The Spurs aren't playing on Christmas Day. And then the day after Christmas, right, we're going to go ahead and go up against Detroit. We're going to see Detroit at home, Utah at home on the 27th, right? Miami at home on the 29th, right? These are just a few days apart. Oh, I think I have one of these dates wrong. And then we got Memphis in here as well, right? Let me see. Memphis is on the 31st, right? So that's an error on the screen right there. But we're going to go ahead and go back on the road at the very end of December. Now, this is the first road game of 7, right? In this 20 games that we're talking about here. 7 more road games coming, and this is the first one, right? So, I mean, going to Memphis, getting a dub against Memphis would be huge for this little mini road trip that we're about to have, right? So we go into Memphis, close out the month of December, right? Then we're going to head into January. We're going to go ahead and head over to Detroit, right? So if we can build 2 games right there off of Memphis and Detroit, get a dub against Detroit, that would be a huge momentum swinger, I think confidence swinger for the Spurs at this point in time in the schedule, right? Because then they're going to go up to Toronto and play against Toronto. And, who knows how good they are. I mean, Fred VanVleet is good. Siakam's all right, right? And, they got the kid from Florida State, right? This year in the draft, right? So Scotty Barnes, right? They got Scotty Barnes now, so they're going to be a really fun team. Toronto is, but I think they're beatable. I think the Spurs are right there with them competitive wise, right? So again, to start this little 7-game road trip that we're going to be on against Memphis, crucial. Circle this one on your board, man. We need to get that W there so we can kind of build off that against Detroit. Carry a nice snowball of momentum into Toronto. And then we got some tough games coming up, right? We got Boston, Philly, and Brooklyn. And then we got New York again, right? To round off this batch of games that we're talking about. So very tough back end to this 7-game road trip that we're talking about on this schedule, right? So, what do you guys think? First off, out of all this, and let's go ahead and talk about our best and worst case scenario. My best case scenario in this episode is the Spurs come out above 500. They come out at 11-10. I think expecting quite a bit of losses in this stretch it should be expected. And don't like I said before, guys, don't get too low on losses. Don't get too low on losses, man. I mean, we need to start off strong to this season, right? Yes, but we need to keep getting better because we really don't know what our ceiling is at this point, right? I think once we start seeing them play and we're like, oh wow, we're clicking, the young guys are gelling, we're winning games, right? We're playing competitive basketball and we're putting points up on the board. Then, we can kind of gauge our realistic expectations because, expectations right now, they're all subjective, I think, because we haven't seen what we're about to see from the San Antonio Spurs. So it's hard to kind of gauge how good or bad, the meter is on this team. So worst case scenario is that we go 4-17, right? So, I mean, we can take a pretty nasty hit this month, right? So if we're adding episode 1 and episode 2 together, right? And then next week we'll go over episode 3 where we're going to do the next 20 games, right? But at this point, best case scenario for me and my point of view is that we're sitting at 25-16 about halfway through the season, right? About halfway through the season. All right. So that's about mid-January or early January, right? I'm gonna go back to those January dates right now in a second. But worst case scenario is that we're sitting at 11-30, right? I mean, because in my opinion, this month can get pretty bad, right? So that's if we're not coming to play because I want to see it. I want to see it from our young guys. I want to see them go on the road and be able to compete on the road game like these seven games right here, these 6. And then Memphis, like we got to get a couple W's in this game, and the only way we're going to be able to do that on the road is if we're bringing our defensive intensity, if we're bringing our rebounding efforts and our communication efforts, because shots aren't always going to fall when you're on the road, right? Shots don't always fall, so you got to bring those intangible efforts. You got to bring the extra efforts. You got to do all those little things to help you get the W, and especially when you're on the road, right? So now the reason why I think this can kind of go bad for us, like I said, like 4 and what did I have here? Worst case scenario is 4-17. Like, which 4 games am I talking about? Detroit twice, right? Hopefully we can take care of Detroit twice, and those are gimmies, right? Even though there's no gimme game in the NBA, I know that. And then hopefully we can sneak out 2 more games. Maybe Charlotte, Sacramento. Charlotte, Sacramento, Toronto, right? Maybe those 4. We should be, I think, on paper better than. And then all these other teams, though, on paper are probably expected to win, right? I think that talking about Golden State, Phoenix, Denver, New York, even New Orleans, Utah, Clippers, Lakers, Utah again, Miami, Memphis, they're all projected to be better than the San Antonio Spurs. So Boston, Philadelphia, Brooklyn for sure, right? So that's what I'm saying. This on paper, this schedule can be tough. Now, if best case scenario goes my way, and we're healthy and we're clicking and we're hitting shots and we're playing in a system that's beneficial, I think the sky's the limit here at 11-10. And I wouldn't, that's nothing to be to gripe at. 11-10 would be awesome, right? That would be awesome. All right, so thank you guys for hanging out. I know this is a short episode, but that's kind of what this was all about. Again, I'm glad to have you guys here. If you're enjoying this channel, if you're enjoying the content I'm putting out, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Smash that like button down below. Chant Go Spurs Go when you do. Leave a comment and share this with the rest of Spurs Nation. If you want to go above and beyond and kind of help this channel grow, one of the goals is to get to a certain number of Patreons where it can fit our budget to stream in 1080p coming up this season. That's one of our goals, and Patreon members will help us get there. So thank you guys for all y'all that are stopping in live and dropping tips. Thank you, Sean Kelly. Thank you, Diamond G, for hanging out. Go Spurs Go, guys. I know it's been a little bit low in the news world for the Spurs, right? We're all kind of just waiting to see what the Spurs do with Thaddeus Young and Al-Farouq Aminu, and then that's kind of it, right? That's kind of it for our roster at that point. So, go Spurs Go. We'll be all right. Make sure you guys head over to SpursTubeTv.com. There's a lot of different Spurs videos out there, different Spurs podcasts, and so it's a lot of fun over there. You can find tickets to Spurs games. You can find merch to Spurs games as well. And you can find merch to the different creators that are contributing to this channel. And if you want to know a little bit more about it, I mean, the contributors at SpursTubeTv are going to be hosting and guest hosting for After the Buzzer, the San Antonio Spurs post-game show, right? This coming season. So that should be a lot of fun, man. So check that out. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Go Spurs Go wherever you're at in the world. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good night. Hope your belly's full and you're full of rest and you're ready to take on tomorrow, man. So go Spurs Go. See you guys on the next episode.